Hey everybody, doing a special video today on bowling ball resurfacing. What I do to resurface. This is a special video. I wasn't planning on doing this, but figured I might as well since I don't do it very often. All right, so this is my Brunswick spare ball, and obviously you can see my thumb is in. I do use tape. This one is my spare ball. I had it patched because since I roll so close to the fingers, especially with the spare ball, it was cracking around. And for those of you getting ready to bowl the nationals, you got to make sure that you don't have too big of crackage around your fingers, or else they will deem it as an illegal bowling ball. So that being said, I had it redone. I was in a hurry the night the pro shop guys were doing the ball, so they didn't get a chance to polish it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to polish it. I have the Innovator spinner, which I've had for a while. It's a smaller one. It's not the bigger one. I've had it for years, and I've gotten my money's worth out of it from doing other people's balls for free to doing my own. So let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb out because I do have tape in it. I want to make sure that that's out so that I don't have to redo the tape. And I do use the CTD product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sand this down to the piece of tape on there. I'm going to try and get off from the ball shop. So anyway, so I've had this ball for a couple years. I hate having to change my spare balls. So like on this one, I just decided to have the thumb plugged and redone. I'm not a big fan of plugging balls. As a matter of fact, this will be the only one that you ever see that I plug. Let's see. Because it is sanded down already from the pro shop, I'm going to show you that for me, I only take it down to about, I'm going to use the CTD way. I hate my spare ball. I do not like having any hook on it. My spare system that I use is very straight. Obviously, you're going to get a little hook out of it, but it's not going to have any effect on it. So what I will do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a 3000 grit, True Grit. Since it does have that on there, I'm going to try and get it off where I use the 5000. So this is the CTD pad with a CTD pad. We'll talk about CTD products later, why I choose to go with them. So let's go ahead. We'll get started with taking this down to the 3000. And I do wet the pad with the True Grit conditioner. Honestly, to me, I don't see a big difference with the True Cut conditioner other than water. But when you have the membership, you get some of the stuff like that. So I will use it until it's out, and then I'll go back to using water on my pads because I do prefer them wet. Seems that I'm able to make them last a little bit longer when they are wet. So let's get started. So I'm just going to sand this ball just up and down, but we are going to do all four sides. And being that I'm sanding it at such a high grit, you're not really going to see too much of a difference. Quickly do this real quick. I do use other products besides the CTD stuff that I have around the house. But since I've been part of the membership for the last 2.5 years, a lot of the stuff I have is older. I use some of the Storm product that's like a ball cleaner. that I do appreciate. So it's good quality. See, I still got that black spot from that tape that was left on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just try and get it off by hand using some of it's an old, because the CTD stuff is so expensive. If I'm using it on a ball that I'm not really concerned too much about, or I haven't done the final product on, especially my main balls, you'll always see me use, after I sand them, I'll use the Life After Death, which I think is probably paired with the scuff pad that comes with it, the 3M pad. I do believe that is the best ball cleaner. It's been the main one that I've used. When I was using other equipment, I would have, like, if I had a Motive ball, I would buy Motive product to sand it or polish it, whatever it was. So now that tape is pretty much gone, we'll be good. So next step in the process. So the big thing that I like about the CTD is that their product, if you use it, they come with this is a P5000D pad. So this is going to sand it to 5000 grit before I'm going to polish it. So, and I do have the scanner from CTD. One of the years that they let you pair them all up, I ended up getting that. I think it was like 6 months worth of payments or 5 months, but it was totally worth it because it's like a $500 piece of equipment that $60 a month for 6 months ends up being $360. So it's a little bit better of a price, and I do like knowing, since I do my own equipment, it's a good, what I use it for is it tells me when a pad is doing its job and when it's not. If the pad is worn out, it'll tell me that I need to, the scanner will tell me, okay, hey, 1000 grit pad is now finishing at 2000. So I'm able to switch out and go to another pad. So that's what we'll go ahead and do with this. This is a brand new, this is a fresh 5000 pad. I rarely polish stuff. I have a teammate that I bowl with in league that he loves this stuff polished, and he likes it as high as he can get it because he's getting older and has a hard time controlling a lot of the balls he buys. So by polishing it up to 6500, it helps him get a little bit more length and a little bit more control on a ball that is for that slow speed person. A lot of it is the ball is just not meant for the conditions that we're bowling on, but he still likes using all his equipment. So when things aren't working, I'll take it down to the 6000 for him. All right, so this ball is now ready to be polished. So I'm going to set it on its side. We're done with the sanding pad. So I'll switch that off, and I will put on the CTD chamois. Okay, this is an old one. I did get a new one in the January shipment, but this one still works good. So I'm pretty give a lot of stuff on there because I like coverage. So you'll see me put the polish on prior to turning the ball spinner on, and my pad is dry, so you're going to see, I'm going to turn that on, let it spin a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more polish to this, which is the CTD Polish Plus. It gets it to 6500 grit. So then I'll go over it again. And now by the time, if you polish equipment, normally your pad will be good. After about one ball, it'll be pretty thorough. So I use a separate cloth to use to take off the polish. So I let it spin a little bit, try and give it a chance to dry. Then just put pretty good pressure on it to make sure all the polish comes off. And you can already see a huge difference. Again, to properly do it on a ball spinner, you got to use all four sides. You got to do all four sides. So same process again. pad is still kind of dry, so I'll go ahead and give thorough so that it makes sure and gets a good, nice coat of polish on there. Let it spin for a few seconds before I start drying it. So it's not a long process, but it's time consuming. I did use this last week in league for a couple spares. Wasn't hooking that much. Obviously it's a plastic ball, and for me with my ball speed and everything, it's not that big of a deal, but I do think having a ball polish makes a big difference. So apply a little bit more here. And try and not get a lot on the fingertips, because you got to end up cleaning that out, which is not a big deal if you do, but just a hassle. So turn the ball spinner on again. And see, the more you do, the less you have to apply to your pad to make sure you get enough on there. Now this one will end up getting a little bit more. You see some of the polish spinning off. That's okay. You'll see what happens when I'm done. You always want to make sure you have clean holes as well for your ball. So put a good amount of pressure on it. Spend a little bit extra time around the thumb holes, because if you don't have, they're not perfectly set in, you'll get some streaking in that area. And then I just take my polish rag, put it in the finger holes, make sure my finger holes are clean and clear of polish. Same thing in the thumb hole. Where the it goes, make sure it's free and clear of any of the polish. All right, and go ahead and turn it over for the last side. As you can see, a huge difference already. It's super shiny. And then I'll get the ball scanner and show you guys what it scans at. See, the towel I fold specifically, that way I can grip it, put enough pressure on it. Always go down. There's the black cup that it's in. I always go right to the line. And sometimes you do leave a streak on the ball, which this one probably will, because I do go all the way down to the line, and that ball is done. Okay, looks pretty good. See how I got a streak around it? So I'll just buff it out by hand the rest. And this polish works really good. It keeps it clean. So let's see what it comes out scanning to. That, the CTD scanner, the box it comes in. I've had it for now about a year. It's great for tournament bowling. You can see by the end of a squad how much grit or what your ball goes to. So that way, if you like the look you got on it, you could freshen it up after a tournament by hand, or if you are bowling in a tournament nearby or coming home at the end of the day, you can repolish it or resand it to the surface you want. Turn it on, takes a couple seconds. Okay, it's ready to go. Okay. So it's coming out to about 5,500. So not quite 6,000. Probably could have done one more coat of polish on it and it would have been good, but for me, 5,500 is great. So that's the end of this video. We'll have another video. This is kind of just a special video since I normally don't polish stuff. Wanted to show you guys how I polish bowling balls.